Forgive yourself. I think there's too many of us just walking around, going through and just feeling guilty and feeling bad about things that we just know we did wrong. And we just are unwilling to forgive ourselves. We beat ourselves up. We tell us and talk to ourselves and say, why'd you do that? That was so dumb. And we just kind of hold on to it, sometimes for years. There could even be something that some of you did as like a 7-year-old that you still feel terrible about. And you hold on to it to this day and you just kind of feel like a bad person. And I just want to say, you don't have to hold on to that anymore. Whether it be something from 10 years ago or from a few days ago, I want you to forgive yourself. I want you to be able to say, hey, look, man, I was dumb. Accept responsibility. And say, hey, I got to learn from this and I got to make better decisions and move on. That would be the end of it. Because holding on to this guilt inside your heart for years to come, that's not helping anybody. That's not making anything better. And obviously, that's not what I want for you. I learned a good strategy, and I'll mention the gift. It's a book. I mentioned it in the comments. But one strategy that I learned was, let's say, yeah, you made a terrible decision as a 7-year-old and somebody got really hurt or something really bad happened. And you've really beaten yourself up from that decision. The author mentioned, just envision the 7-year-old you and the current you, the adult you, walking up to the 7-year-old you and saying, that's okay. Like, give them a hug and say, hey, you messed up. You weren't thinking straight, you weren't doing the right thing, but that's okay. We learned from that decision and we eventually became a better person from that mistake. So I am not that 7-year-old anymore. I'm now a good, successful adult. And I had to go through that in order to learn from it. And there's something about visualizing the new you and the young version of you that like comes together and helps each other out and helps you see like, yes, sometimes in life, you got to make mistakes to learn and to grow. And you're not that little kid anymore. And so I think a lot of us need to learn to confront those issues and say, hey, man, I messed up, accept responsibility, and now move on. Now, thinking about it is cool, but I think also just committing an action to learn from the mistakes we made. What actions will I take that I will put into practice from this mistake that I made? Because thinking about it's cool. Thinking about stuff, that's step number one. You got to think about things. But until there's an action that follows, it hasn't fully developed. And obviously that's what I want for you guys is to make actions to show that you've learned and gotten better and forgiven yourself from the mistakes in the past. You can accomplish anything you want as long as you want to sacrifice and put in the work. I believe in you. Go get them. Remember to forgive yourself.